can't even see my shirt. It's so cute. I want you guys to see my shirt. How many times am I going to say autumnal in this video? It's about as good as it's going to get. Hey everybody, CR Media Gal here, also known as Andrea. Welcome back to my channel. I'm a bit delayed, story of my life, in getting this posted. But Loch's Library here on YouTube recently brought back an oldie but goodie type of autumnal book tag video. And even though I'm an absolute nobody on here, including in the booktube and booktok community, I thought the questions were a lot of fun, and so I thought I would try my hand at it. I will, of course, link her channel down in the description box for you. Go and give her a follow. And if you're new to my little booktube channel, I would love for you to stick around. I not only do book-related content, I also do a lot of autumnal, cozy, home decor, lifestyle kind of videos. If you like that kind of content, be sure to subscribe and stick around and give this video a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, let's jump into this autumnal book tag. I don't physically have every book for these questions to show you guys, so I just grabbed a few that were within reach. Starting with, show us an autumnal book that you love and feel deserves more attention. This was tough for me because I have a lot of what I think are gonna be pretty autumnal and spooky, gothic-y romance kind of books that are on my TBR, but I haven't read them yet. And even then, this is stretching it because this book starts off towards the end of summer. It doesn't necessarily take place in the autumn. The cover is very deceiving because it is very autumnal, and it just has those very cozy autumnal vibes that a lot of us love. The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore by Lauriegilmore. Her first book in the Dream Harbor series, The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, it's all the raves. I, however, was not a fan. In general, I haven't been a big fan of the Dream Harbor series. However, I think this one, which is technically the second book that was published in the series, but they are all standalones, you don't necessarily have to read them in publishing order. I think this one doesn't get the kind of love it deserves. Let me just read you a small blurb on the back of the book. When a secret message turns up hidden in a book in the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, Hazel can't understand it. As more secret codes appear between the pages, she decides to follow the trail of clues. She just needs someone to help her out. Gorgeous and outgoing fisherman Noah is always up for an adventure. The scavenger hunt sounds like a lot of fun. Even better that the cute bookseller he's been crushing on for months is the one who wants his help. I thought this was really, really cute. Are her books sickly sweet? Yeah, I can handle this one. And I love the MMC Noah, and I love the FMC Hazel. I liked this coupling out of all the books she's written to date, and this is actually the only one in the series I would ever even consider rereading. It is very deceiving. I mean, the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, you think that would take place in autumn. It doesn't technically take place in autumn, but it still has all the cozy feels. Of any of the books in the series, I recommend this one the most. What is your most anticipated book release for fall of 2025? I'm going to cheat because I'm going to give you two. First of which is Alchemy of Secrets by Stephaniegarber. Comes out October 7th. To my understanding, this is going to be another series from her. I've read majority of the Caravel series. I still have to read Spectacular, and I've read 2 of the 3 Once Upon a Broken Heart books. I love Stephaniegarber as a writer, and this is her adult fantasy debut. I'm curious to see what she writes that's more adult themed, what kind of spin she puts on it. To my understanding though, this does not have any spice, but it does have romance. I don't necessarily need spice to enjoy a romantasy of any kind, so I'm very, very excited to see what she has in store. The second also comes out on October 7th, and that is Mate by alihazelwood, which is the sequel to her paranormal fantasy from last year, Bride, which I gave that 5 stars. I read that like 2 months ago. Loved it. It was on my spooky TBR. Watch that video, by the way. Go back and give it a watch. Not a lot of people saw it.
Per usual.
Bride had so many laugh out loud moments for me, so I am so excited to see what we have in store for Mate, which is about the FMC from Bride, Misery's best friend. I'm blanking on her name. Is it Selena? She's like half human, half wolf. He ends up being mated to the MMC from Bride, one of his best friends. So I have a feeling that this one's gonna knock my socks off too. Show us a newish release book with an autumnal cozy cover. A Fellowship of Librarians and Dragons by Jay Penner. This is technically the second book in this. Yes, they're standalones, but it is an interconnected series. I still actually haven't read the first book, but take a look at that cover. This cover is just so darn autumnal and cozy. Has pretty mint sprayed edges too. Spilling the tea has never been so cozy. People-pleasing sunshine dwarf, Dolly Butterbuckle. I mean, come on. That name. That's adorable. Is content with her simple tea magic and circle friends. It's true that she might have once wanted more for herself and that she's never quite lived up to her family's expectations, but her life is just fine. That is until she inherits a dragon egg. I'm very excited to start reading this series sometime this fall. Maybe even save it for wintertime because I just feel like these will give all the sweet, comfy, cozy vibes. What is your favorite suspenseful or spooky book? I don't actually have it on hand. I actually recently ordered LitJoy Crate's version of this that will be releasing in October, Sleepy Hollow. If you're not new around here, that won't be a surprise to you because I actually collect Sleepy Hollow decor for Halloween. I've loved Sleepy Hollow since I was a kid, dating back to the original Disney cartoon. I grew up on that, loved it. Tim Burton version is probably my all-time favorite spooky Halloween film. That's a no-brainer for me. And I am due for a reread of it. So as long as my LitJoy Crate book arrives in time for Halloween, I am going to have a nice reread of that. What fictional characters would you love to go to a fall festival with? Oh, okay. I would love to go with Misery from Bride by alihazelwood because she's hilarious. I think it would be so much fun to partake in something like that with a vampire. I mean, just going trick-or-treating with an actual vampire, like how much fun would that be? Just think I would get along with her so freaking well. Or Olive from The Love Hypothesis. She too is a pumpkin spice fiend and she's proud of her pumpkin spice obsession just like me. So I think we would hit it off immediately. Plus she too is very witty and funny. Show us a book you're thankful to have in your collection. I'm gonna grab them. Pause for a moment. Not technically the books themselves, but the dust jackets. The Once Upon a Broken Heart dust jackets by Faye Crate. These are just, to me, some of the most beautiful, beautiful dust jackets I've ever seen. And character art, hands down. Together, the spines all show a beautiful fox. And I believe that might be Wolf's Castle. Here is Once Upon a Broken Heart. Follow this artist on Instagram. I will link her down in the description box for you if you'd like to go give her a follow. These dust jackets are just stunning. That's Evangeline. This one is hands down my favorite of the three. The Ballad of Never After. That looks like Jax to me. That is like the perfect depiction of Jax, which is another reason why I love these dust jackets so much. This dust jacket is also very autumnal, by the way. And lastly, A Curse for True Love. Oh, that depiction of Jax is just perfect, but also Evangeline here. That is very much how I see them both. And then you've got the sweet little fox on the back. I love these dust jackets so much. They have pride of place on my bookshelf over here. You see them a lot of times in the back of my videos. They're not easy to come by. Show us one of your comfort reads. They're actually all up on a shelf behind me here, and that is the Harry Potter series. I grew up on Harry Potter. It will always have a place in my heart. I reread them every couple years for the cozy nostalgia. I love that world. That is definitely one of my all-time favorite comfort reads. What are 2 to 4 books that are on your fall TBR? Well, I already shared with you 2 that are definitely at the top of my list as far as new releases go. Other ones that are on my fall specific TBR, separate from the spooky TBR that I showed you guys a couple videos back. I think it's called the Ginger Shop Bakery or something like that. The 5th book in the Dream Harbor series. I know I already mentioned that I'm not a huge fan of the series. However, I do want to read this one, and then I think that's going to be it for me as far as the Dream Harbor series go. It sounds like Laurie Gilmore has no intentions of stopping, but I want to specifically read that one because we're finally going to get the relationship between Amy and Mac, who have featured in all 4 other books. They don't get along. They're always at odds with each other. They're constantly fighting, but obviously there's chemistry there. I'm ready to finally read their book. I was ready technically like 2 or 3 books ago. Finally getting their long overdue story. And then I'm cutting it off. I'm cutting it off. I want to be done with the series, but I do want to read about Amy and Mac. But another one that is actually on my fall TBR, and technically I probably should have put this on my spooky TBR, because this is really the only mystery / thriller that I own. Generally not my genre of choice, but the synopsis for this caught my eye earlier this year, and it finally came out in hardback, so I recently picked it up. The Ghostwriter by Julie Clark. This is the hardcover from Barnes & Noble. I love those sprayed edges. Those are so fun. June 1975, the Taylor family shatters in a single night when 2 teenage siblings are found dead in their own home. The only surviving sibling, Vincent, never shakes the whispers and accusations that he was the one who killed them. Decades later, the legend only grows as his career as a horror writer skyrockets. Ghostwriter Olivia Dumont has spent her entire professional life hiding the fact that she's the only child of Vincent Taylor. Now on the brink of financial ruin, she's offered a job to ghostwrite her father's last book. What she doesn't know, though, is that this project is another one of his lies, because it's another horror novel he wants her to write. After 50 years of silence, Vincent Taylor is finally ready to talk about what really happened that night in 1975. This sounds so good. I hope it lives up to the hype that I have in my head. What is the last audiobook you enjoyed? I'm not a big audiobook reader to date, so I'm very limited in what I can even offer up for this answer. I recently listened to the graphic audio version of the first book in the ACOTAR series and really enjoyed it. It's a full cast, and I primarily want to keep going with it because the man who voices Lucian is absolutely perfect. And apparently he also voices Xaden in Fourth Wing. I think majority of the voice actors are perfect in these parts. They're like nearly exactly how I pictured them when I was initially reading the books. So I'm enjoying that. What are you most looking forward to this fall? I'm looking most forward to chilly, crisp autumn walks with my dog Mila. We go for walks every single day. We try to go first thing in the morning, and that cool, crisp autumn weather is, it's my absolute favorite. Also taking in all the pumpkin spice goodness, because I'm such a pumpkin spice fiend, especially when it comes to my coffee. I love pumpkin cream cold brews from Starbucks. It's really the only time of year that I even buy Starbucks. And of course, the changing leaves. I love fall foliage. It's just stunning. I feel like it's actually quite underrated here in Pennsylvania, but it's very, very beautiful and I enjoy it. Talk about an autumnal book that you thought you'd love but didn't. You could be new around here and you're probably gonna guess it before I even hold it up. The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. I think I gave this 2 stars when I read it, and that was probably too generous a rating. I thought this was horrible. This did not hit in the fall time feels for me at all. Her writing, unfortunately, to me feels very manufactured. It doesn't feel really, something lacking when it comes to these books. Emotionally, they don't really pull punch for me. Characters are not very relatable. This was also super insta-lovey, which I wasn't anticipating. Also, I feel like majority of these books could easily be told in like 100 to 200 pages, and they're all like 400 and above. I think some of the later spice scenes were added, especially in this book. Primarily sticks out in this book. I feel like the later spice scenes were like literally just added as a selling point. And it sucks. I mean, look at that cover. That is so cute. So like perfectly autumnal. Lastly, what are your favorite shows or movies to watch in the fall? Any Mike Flanagan. Whether it's something new on Netflix that he has coming out or an oldie but goodie, although I haven't been able to watch The Haunting of Hill House since it originally came out a couple of years ago because that scared the ever-living shit out of me. I'm a big wuss. I enjoy watching spooky stuff, but at the same time, I end up scaring myself way too much. Hocus Pocus, because that's also very nostalgic for me. Only the first film, saw the second one once, and that was one time too much for me. And of course, I already made mention of it, but Sleepy Hollow by Tim Burton. You can't go into the Halloween season and not watch Sleepy Hollow. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. So that was the autumnal book tag. I hope you enjoyed it. Comment down below and let me know your answers to some of these questions if you feel so inclined. Be sure to give Loch's Library a follow as well and go and watch her original video of this book tag. I used to love watching this kind of content on YouTube. We need to start bringing more of that back for sure. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned. I have a lot more bookish content coming your way and fall content. Always more fall content. I hope you're all doing well wherever you are, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye. Oh, my back hurts. My back hurts. I still, okay. Whew.